So you want to start coding, but you're not exactly sure how to start. So in this video, I will give you my take on it. You will definitely find other methods out there, but this particular approach worked for me and for the people I've taught. And also a small disclaimer, if you really want to learn how to code, I would strongly advise that you stay away from tools like ChatGPT and other AI tools out there. They will not really help you on how to solve problems. These things you will have to do it by yourself, and you're going to have to struggle because this is really the only way to get ahead in this game. So step number one, understand the basic concepts. For instance, understand functions, variables, what are arguments, what's an input, what's an output. Before talking about any programming language, you just have to understand those concepts. Step number two, pick a programming language. And here is my take. I think that taking JavaScript as your first programming language is a great move. JavaScript is simple and widely available in any browser, anywhere you look. So if you just open your Chrome or your Edge browser and go to the developer tools, you can already start typing and creating functions, creating variables without any tools. The other thing that I like about JavaScript is that it allows you to integrate into a web page without having to worry too much about layout. So here are some examples I give to my students typically when they just start programming. So one example I usually give to my students would be at first to start playing with the alert box. You can put a message in there and then encapsulate this into your own function, create a add or a subtract function with two parameters, make sure that you can return the result. I would ask them to use console.log to look at the logs while they're doing those functions. These exercises really help you get accustomed to those terms, like I said, functions and parameters. And step three would be to get accustomed with more advanced features like arrays, loops, and class. So the whole point of arrays and loops is to basically simplify your code. So one of the examples I usually have my students do is to create a board with 8 cards on it, and each card will display a random number, something from 0 to 10. And usually they will do this in order. They will create card 1, they will display card 1, they will create a random number on card 1 and display that number. And they will do this 8 times. Now, the next question I would ask them is, what if I needed 50 cards? And that's when they're looking at me like, oh. So this is when I actually introduce them with the concept of loops, arrays, and how they can store that data more efficiently. A fourth step, if you're working with JavaScript, is to introduce you to HTML and CSS. And here again, nothing really complicated, just basic HTML and basic CSS. But those three basic concepts added together, JavaScript, CSS, and HTML, will allow you to build pretty cool projects. If you need a few challenges or you need ideas on how to learn programming, hit me in the comment section below and I'll send you fun examples to work with. Step 5, time to talk about the backend. And now in this step, you're no longer a beginner. I would say you started to become a junior developer. In this step, I would then direct you to pick a back-end programming language. You could still stick with JavaScript, but I would recommend something like C# or Python to basically start creating things that are a little bit more interesting. Things where you can start processing back-end data, store information, pull data back, call web APIs. Basically, it started to get interesting. And that's it. If you actually follow these steps, you're technically a developer. And from this point on, it's all about learning and growing. If you have any questions or need additional help to become a programmer, don't hesitate to reach out to me in the comment section. And as usual, I will see you on the next one.